And welcome back to Play Action Fantasy Football. This is Jonathan here with you guys. We are going over our Week 13 tight end rankings, and I hope you guys enjoy. Let's like, subscribe, and get right into this. We're going to start off with number 1. That is the easy one, Travis Kelce at Green Bay. It's going to be a good game for him. I know last week he didn't have quite a great week, but you know what Kelce does. He's been putting up points all year. No way he's not going to put up points against Green Bay. Number 2, George Kittle at Philadelphia. Philadelphia's got a good defense. However, against tight ends, they've been lacking. Kittle another guy who did not have a great week last week, but it's gonna turn around for him this week. Brock Purdy's been throwing the ball all around, and eventually it's gonna come around to Kittle, and I think it's gonna be against this game in Philadelphia. So Kittle's definitely up there at number 2. Number 3, Evan Ingram at home against Cincinnati. Ingram's been performing like a top 5 tight end all year, and this is a great matchup for him against Cincinnati. Cincinnati's one of the worst against tight ends this year, fantasy-wise, so Ingram is definitely a good position there at number 3. Number 4, Sam Laporta at New Orleans. This is another good matchup for Sam Laporta. Sam Laporta is a huge part of this Detroit offense, and he's been putting up great numbers all year too. So Laporta is definitely up there, number 4 against New Orleans. Number 5, Dalton Schultz. I think it just wasn't the week for tight ends last week. This is another guy who only scored, I believe, like 1.5 points last week, which is pretty bad. However, he's had a really good season. Didn't start off amazing, but as C.J. Stroud has found him, Dalton Schultz at home against Denver is a great matchup. Denver's number 32 against tight ends, as they are not a good defense in general. So Dalton Schultz is going to be a good spot up there at number 5. Number 6, Jake Ferguson at home against Seattle. Seattle's very mid when it comes to covering tight ends. And Ferguson, he was another guy who did not have a great week last weekend. So it's going to be a turnaround week for tight ends, and that's going to include Jake Ferguson. Dak Prescott will be finding him. They'll be at home against Seattle, which is going to help them. And so just look for Ferguson there at number 6. Which brings me to number 7, David Njoku at the Rams. This is a tough one. So Njoku, he's going to be a big part of this offense now. With the quarterback situation, DTR is now injured. Njoku, they're going to be limited. The offense of the Browns is going to be very limited. They're going to have to run the ball a lot, get a lot of little dump offs to people like Njoku, Elijah Moore, Kareem Hunt, people of those positions. So David Njoku is definitely going to be catching passes against the LA Rams. They're going to be in LA. So Njoku there at number 7. Number 8, Logan Thomas at home against Miami. Logan Thomas, another tight end who struggled last week, at home against Miami is a good matchup for him, in all honesty, and it's not looking like he's going to be having a great day. Thomas just really hasn't been playing up to his ability, really. I don't know if it's a Sam Howell issue or if it's more of him, but I'm going to put him there at number 8 with some hopes this week. Number 9, Cade Otton at home against Carolina. Good matchup for Otton. Otton's been a big part of this Buccaneers offense. He's been catching a lot of passes, and I think Baker Mayfield likes throwing him the ball. So Otton's a good person there at number 9 at home against Carolina. And number 10, that brings me to Pat Freiermuth for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it's looking like Kenny Pickett's on the rise. I know it's only 1 or 2 weeks, but Kenny Pickett's been very inconsistent this year, but I do think he's going to be playing very well coming towards the end of this season, and Pat Freiermuth is definitely going to be a huge part of that passing offense, and just watch him climb and climb and climb. So get him in your fantasy if you don't, or if he's available. He's going to be at number 10 this week at home against Arizona. Number 11, Trey McBride at Pittsburgh. It's going to be that same matchup. Trey McBride has been doing awesome since Kyler Murray's back, and ever since Zach Ertz has been out. So McBride's been able to take that over. McBride's a rookie. The Pittsburgh Steelers do have a good defense, though, especially against tight ends, and it's in Pittsburgh, so I wouldn't expect him to have his best game of the season. However, it's definitely going to be a good game for him there at number 11. Number 12, Kyle Pitts at New York Jets. New York Jets, they have a decent defense. Kyle Pitts is very inconsistent. The Falcons like to try to find him, but it doesn't always work, and they're going to be in New York, so I'm going to have to put him down there at number 12 with a little bit of potential. Number 13, Tyler Conklin. I think this is the first time I'm getting him on my rankings. He's going to be at home against Atlanta, which is a great matchup for him. And now they have Tim Boyle there throwing the ball instead of Zach Wilson, which looks like it might be a plus for Conklin. So he's going to be right there at number 13. And number 14, we're going to Okonkwo at Tennessee. I'm sorry, he's plays for Tennessee at home against Indiana. Indianapolis is number 26 against tight ends fantasy-wise, and that's a great matchup for Okonkwo. Okonkwo is starting to get more and more usage over the past couple weeks, and it's just on the upside for him. So I definitely like this matchup at home against Indianapolis. Look for Okonkwo. Don't be afraid to get him in your lineup. Number 15, and lastly, we're going to Tyler Higbee. He came off a great week last week. However, this week he's going up against the number 1 defense against tight ends, and that is the Cleveland Browns. Now, he will be at home, which is a good plus, but you never really know with Nakua, Cooper Kupp, exactly who they're going to be hitting. So I'm going to put Higbee up there at number 15 with the good potential. And that will do it for our Week 13 tight end rankings. I hope you guys enjoyed. Why don't you guys comment? Let me know what you think, and have a great weekend.